We're going to get started on the quiz day review. So question number 1 says, evaluate the following expression using PEMDAS. And so we need to remember that PEMDAS stands for parentheses or grouping, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So that's how we evaluate something without an equal sign. So as we go through this, we have to first take care of the things that are in parentheses. And you guys have your multiplication chart, so it can help you as we go along. The first thing that we need to take care of is that 3 squared. What is 3 squared? Remember, that's the same thing as 3 times 3. The square tells you how many times you multiply. So what is 3 times 3? 9. So 2, and then this is going to be a 9, minus 4, minus 3. So if you want the most points when you're going through this, do all the steps. Write out all the steps because you're going to get the most points this way. Next, I can combine everything that's inside my parentheses. What is 9 minus 4? 5. Next, we have multiplication and we have subtraction. So PEMDAS tells me that I have to take care of multiplication first. What is 2 times 5? 10. And I just have one last step. What is 10 minus 3? That is my answer. That is PEMDAS. You're going to do it step by step by step, working down vertically. The next question, it says evaluate, and you've got this ugly looking thing by substituting, and it tells you what A, B, C, D, and E are. Your first step, like it tells you you need to substitute. So we're going to rewrite that and we're going to substitute in all those values. As we substitute them in, we're going to use parentheses. So A, what is A? 6. So we're going to say 6. I'm going to use parentheses squared. What is C? 0 plus E. What is E? 1/2. And then we're going to have some things in parentheses. We do what? 8 minus 2. At this point, do not freak out because you've got something squared and because you've got a fraction. You guys got this, okay? That fraction is the same thing as asking what is half of that, whatever it is. So we're going to use the same steps as we evaluate this at this point. Evaluate just means that we're going to do PEMDAS again. So first 2 sections on your quiz are just PEMDAS. So parentheses exponents. Let's go through and look. I see exponent. So what is 6 times 6? Excuse me. 6 times 6. 36. And thank you. I heard you said 2. 36 times 0 plus, and we can evaluate 8 minus 2. All right, so now we have 2 different things. I have 36 times 0. What's anything times 0? 0. So that just goes away. What is half of 6?
3.
Bam, done. Look, looked really complicated and confusing, but it really wasn't. It ended up being not so bad. Please, even if this second type of question is a struggle for you, please take the time to read the directions. It tells you to substitute. Everybody should be able to do that first step. Moving on. The next problem is a graph. And some of us struggled with the graph on our practice review. It says first, does this graph represent a function? So look on your practice. If you have your practice, do we think this is a function or not a function? Yeah, it's a function. So you're going to make sure you circle yes or no. Please do not circle both of them. Yes or no. Also, please do not do a circle like that, or I'm supposed to, or like that, where I'm supposed to just guess what it is. Don't do that. Just pick one, yes or no. Next, it says identify the domain, and it says as an interval. The other one says as an inequality. So unequal means that it's going to have like these symbols. The interval is the one that has like these symbols. So identifying the domain, does that go with X or Y? X. So range goes with Y. Very good. So looking at the domain, I'm looking from left to right or in the X direction. So the X and the Y are listed. So that says Y, that says X. So we know which direction that we're looking in. So in the X direction, we have to look at where our graph starts and stops. So I could start here at 0. Does my graph stop here, or do I still have graph? I still have graph. Do I still have graph here? What about way over here? Yeah, because this would keep going forever, and it gets bigger and bigger slowly, but bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's going towards the smallest possible negative number. What is that? Negative infinity. Well, what about to positive numbers? How far does it go? Very good. So my graph goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. Does it ever reach infinity? No. So remember that the difference in those brackets or the parentheses, like parentheses, you can think of that claw game that you can go up to it, but you can never grab it, never grab it. It doesn't actually touch that number. But the brackets, you can actually kind of grab onto. You can clamp down on it with those brackets. We can't be brackets around infinity ever. So we have negative infinity to infinity, and we will be parentheses, not brackets. You could also say all real numbers, but because this one says an interval, your answer choices are going to be listed as an interval. So I want to make sure this is technically all real numbers, absolutely, all day. That is true. But this is a multiple choice question, so I want you to know how to find it multiple choice. The next question is also a multiple choice question, but it says, hey, let's find the range and let's find it as an inequality. Fine, whatever, I can do that. First of all, I know that range is going to be with a Y. I also know that my inequality symbols will always face to the smaller number. You always point to the smaller number. You always point to the left. So they will always face that direction. Now we just got to figure out how far down and how far up my graph goes. So I could start at the middle again. And I'm going along my y-axis now. The smaller number has to go on the left, so that's like down. How far down does my graph go? -4. So it goes down to -4. How far up does my graph go? Infinity. It goes up forever. So the smaller number is -4. So I have to put -4 here. Does anybody remember where Cameron is? Oh, hey. Thank you. Sorry, David. Does anybody remember where David is? I know. Where David sits. Does anybody remember? I think you're up here, right behind Jamea. Yes. 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 Yeah, so we haven't gotten there yet. Yes, thank you so much. So first thing I was doing, everything sets up like this. I've got the -4, and then how high do I go? I go up to infinity, and then thank you. Yes, absolutely. Do I have a hole here? Is it an open circle? No, so I don't have open under here. I have to put the underline. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I just hadn't gotten to that part. Well, infinity, can I ever touch infinity? So we leave it open. And these are as multiple choice, so please just read through. I believe that you can do those. We have two more questions that we're going to do. So it says solve the following. And it says show your work, box your final answer. What is nice about both of these types of problems? Both of those things. We've got X's on the left side, which they don't have to be for the one on the left, but the one on the right, yeah, having the left already on the left side, yeah, that is good. And yes, I heard it. They're also both two-step problems. Two-step problems are easy for us. Let me double check. In fact, you have 3 solving problems on your quiz. All of them are two-step problems. Yay, we like a two-step problem. We can do a two-step problem, 2 steps. For the first one, what do I need to do first? We need to get rid of that fraction, right? Well, what's the opposite or inverse of divide by 4? Multiply by 4. Let's do that first. We've got to get rid of divide by 4 because we can't do anything with that fraction. So we'll multiply by 4. What is 7 times 4? You have a multiplication chart. 28. I have one last step. What is it? Yep. What's 28 minus 3? Beautiful. How could I check if I wanted to? I could plug it in. If I plugged it in, I would have 25 plus 3. So I'd have 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Yes, I did it correctly. The next problem. We've got the variable on the left. Check. Other than that, we solve it just like an equality. And I think I heard people saying this. Yes, what do I do first? Minus 12. 2 steps. I'm going to subtract 12. And we can do this using old school math. 2 minus 2 would be 0. 3 minus 1 would be 2. I'm almost done, but I'm not done. What's my last step? What is 20 divided by 4? Beautiful. Good job. The problems on your quiz are also 2-step problems. No, I will take your answer just like that. If you like graphing your inequality, that's fine, but I will take it just like that. Good question. Is anybody still copying these?